Let's play this or that.
But let's do it slightly different. We're going to be using questions you ask us all the time about traveling to Rome. How do you like that tweak?
Love the idea, so let's get started.
Tipping, yes or no?
Let me start by saying that in Italy, tipping is not mandatory. So you don't get chased from a restaurant if you did not leave a nice tip. It is something that's very appreciated, absolutely yes. And so my answer to this would be, if you are happy with the service that you got at restaurants, even in taxis, like sometimes when I take a taxi and I pay in cash, if it's €8, I just leave him 10. Even when I go have my espresso at the bar, sometimes I leave 50 cents, 20 cents. When Valeria and I travel and we take guided tours, we do leave tips to the guides if you are happy with the service. If you get harassed and people tell you have to tip, that is because people know that tourists tend to be a little bit more generous with the tips, and so they sort of expect it, they sort of push you to do it, but absolutely not. It's not mandatory, but it's highly appreciated. Euros or dollars?
Well, in Italy we use euros, so you don't pay with dollars. If even tipping, unless you have like nothing, but even tipping in dollars it's not the best thing because people would have to go and exchange that money, and it's complicated. In Italy, in Rome, it's euros. We have our currency, so what you can do is use your credit cards, change the money before you come, so that you go to your bank and it's safe to change everything. But euros, that is our local currency, so that is what you should be using. Taxi or Uber?
Actually, I'm going to say both, but through the Uber app. My sister pointed this out. So taxis and Ubers are great, but if you book a taxi through the Uber app, you will know exactly how much money you are going to spend before you get on it. And so it's very, very useful because, if you just jump on a taxi, you never know, the meter could run a little bit more, that you could be stuck in traffic, which does happen in Rome occasionally. And so I would definitely go with Uber or taxi, but through the Uber app. Train or plane when you have to travel to different cities from Rome?
Train. Our train system is outstanding, and you have to consider that the train stations are in the city center. So even if you're going to Venice, you're going to Milan, we always take the train. Now, it would not make sense to take a plane to Florence, but even if you're going to the south, the train is the #1 option unless you're going to the islands. So if you're going to Sardinia, if you're going to Sicily, absolutely the plane, but if not, from Rome, the train. Also because Rome is exactly halfway the boot, so we're very close to everything. Day trip from Rome, Florence or Naples?
I'll pass this question because I can't answer this question. It depends. They're both two beautiful, beautiful cities. The food is amazing in both of them. Florence is a little bit more smaller. Naples is overwhelming. It sort of depends on what vibe you want because both cities have a very, very different vibe. And you know what? I'm going to give you another option too. We actually did an extended video on another day trip to a beautiful region called Umbria, and you're heading to Orvieto. The trip could be a little longer because it doesn't have a fast train, but it's also beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So now I gave you 3 options: Orvieto, Florence, or Naples. It's up to you to choose. Do your homework. Cultural guided tours or do it yourself?
It depends. So, absolutely, the guided tours that you need is when you visit the Colosseum and the Vatican museums. Now, why is that? Because the Colosseum, the entrance gives you access also to the Roman Forum and the Palatine Hill, which are nearby, but there are 3 different sites. And so it's good to know exactly where you need to go. And also because sometimes, at the Colosseum, at the Roman Forums, you're just looking at a bunch of stones, of ruins laying on the ground. And the value of the guide that explains you and has you see what it was once is huge. And for the Vatican Museum, the Vatican museums are huge. So it is beautiful to just go around and seeing them by yourself. But if you have limited time, a guided tour is a great added value because you're going to the highlights. In 3 hours, you're going to get a highlight, you're going to see the main things, and that is extremely useful. And do it yourself, for me, all the rest of the city can be do it yourself. You just have fun exploring and learning, and you know, apart from these two huge sites, the Colosseum and the Vatican Museum, the rest, you know, you can do by yourself, and it's also fun. So it depends. Early dinner, yes or no?
No, 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 no. We have dinner late. So Italians, okay, we're talking about Rome. Romans usually have dinner around 8:30ish. And so you're probably thinking, am I going to starve to death until that time? The answer is absolutely not, because we have a beautiful ritual called the Aperitivo ritual, which starts around 5:30, 6 p.m., where you sit down in a beautiful piazza, in a rooftop outside, and you have something to drink, which could be a spritz or a prosecco or a glass of wine, and you nibble on something. Now, dinner is usually that late, so restaurants, local non-touristy restaurants, will open their kitchen around 7-ish. So yes, you will find places that serve you a full course meal at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but those are places that are more tailored for tourists. And this is it. So it's not that you're going to starve to death until 8. You can have a big gelato if you're underage and you don't drink alcohol. There's various alternatives, but just, you know what I always recommend? When you're here, embrace the culture. Do like we do back local. Then at home you can have dinner at 6 p.m. But here, enjoy it, because it's all enjoyment. So you have an aperitivo, and then you walk to dinner, and it's beautiful. So dinner early, absolutely no. Fast food or street food?
This is an easy question, and the answer is obvious. Roman street food. You guys, you're coming all the way to Rome, and it would not make sense to go and have the fast food that you have back home. Experience the local food. Rome has outstanding and also inexpensive street food. Supplì, pizza by the slice. I mean, we did a whole extensive video about what to eat in Rome on a budget. And you know what? It will cost less than going to these chains. It will cost less. It tastes a lot better. You're eating our culture. So, and if you really don't know, if you want our help, we also have a Roman street food tour that you could join. But you know, 1,000 times Roman street food is the best. Food and wine tours, yes or no?
Guess what I'm gonna say? Absolutely yes. Why? Because if you trust a local that is obsessed with food and with having you guys have the best experience, I'm not going to make any names, but we're pretty good at that. Absolutely yes, because you're going to get in the shortest amount of period the experience of somebody that has studied, that is passionate, that has tested and tasted and put together something that makes sense, so that you come and you have the best thing that you can have while you're here. So in Rome, we have so many different amazing foods, and so you want to try the best. You don't want to eat bad food when you come here, absolutely anywhere. So remember, absolutely yes to food tours. Golf cart or hop on, hop off?
Personally, hop on, hop off. Now, golf carts, yes, if you have somebody with mobility issues, so yes. But the reason why I say hop on, hop off is because you need to walk and you need to interact with the city. So hop on, hop offs are great because you sort of, especially if you do it like on the first day, you sort of see the city, the highlights of the city. You hop on and you hop off as many times as you want, and you walk and so you do a lot. Maybe you can even take away some areas of the city that you don't need to go back to. Golf carts is you're just sitting and you are looking at the city as if we were Disneyland, which is not. The reason is because I feel, this is my personal opinion, are sort of feeling you're missing out with the interaction of walking in the side streets, going into little spots and stuff like that. So hop on, hop off. Paper or digital bus tickets?
Digital bus tickets. Actually, Valeria and I always use this method. Let's call it a method. It's called tap and go. You either use your credit card, or if you have them on your cell phone, those work too. And practically you tap your credit card and you go. So you find this at the entrance of the buses or at the toll before you enter the metro. The only thing that you have to pay attention with this tap and go is that you're allowed to tap per only one ticket per credit card. So if you're traveling with a whole bunch of people, everybody has to have their own card. The alternative, if you're traveling with a whole bunch of people, is to either buy paper tickets that you can buy pretty much anywhere, or download. They have their various apps that allow you to pre-purchase more than one ticket. Those, however, remember, you've got to validate them. Trenitalia or Italo?
They're both great. So Trenitalia and Italo are absolutely equivalent when it comes to fast trains. And by the way, we did a super extended video about taking trains to Italy, but they are equivalent. If you need to take local trains, so you're not traveling like Milan, Venice, Bologna, Rome, Florence, Naples on that fast train on the backbone, and you need to sort of go on the sides of Italy, the only option you have is Trenitalia. But they are both great and equivalent.
And you know what? We have answered about this much of all the questions you guys have asked us.
But no worries, because we have you covered. We created an online community called Local Aromas Family.com, and there we pour everything that you should know, that we know because we are local sisters, we live in Italy, and we just share everything.
Guys, you want to know what to eat and where to eat it, because remember, there's no such thing as Italian food. Local insights, from how to take the bus to how to travel by train, and just everything, places to visit, unique places to visit, because we really go off the beaten path to give you everything in one place. So all you have to do now is, let's tell them.
Sign up, localaromasfamily.com, and you do it for free.